everybody. All right, this might be the actual first episode I post. I decided to discuss, have a conversation about everyone we're talking about firing Kathleen Kennedy. We should fire Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy's fired. I don't know. I listened to Critical Drinker. I listened to, not really the, I forget what his name is, Zero, whatever. He seems more like a putz. He puts out videos like every 20 seconds and half of them are full of misinformation. But one of the people that I do listen to when it comes to Star Wars and things of that nature is Star Wars Theory. And he did a video the other day, and I wanted to put it up before this goes into obscurity, because who knows Kathleen Kennedy's her contract is not up for another year until 2024. So I thought this would be interesting. Let's take a look at this video by Star Wars Theory. I don't know what the guy's name is who runs the channel, but he's got a lot of good information, and I like the guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you, first and foremost, Star Wars Theory, actual confirmation that Kathleen Kennedy has been fired. Now, you guys have seen other channels, other sources, other articles on the internet, websites, claiming to have their own source. And I, of course, having the largest Star Wars channel on the face of the earth, have my own source at Lucasfilm. Now, I've been very skeptical to release this information for a long time. They have been feeding me information for quite a while. They do work within Lucasfilm, and I've been very, very hesitant to tell you guys about it. However, in a video, I think a few weeks ago, I did mention to you guys that I have had a source that I've been talking to. And I've wanted to keep away from this kind of content for a while because I haven't been a fan of it. But with that being said, a lot of you really wanted to see the information that my source was giving me. Now, keep in mind, I've had a ton of different sources in my time on YouTube. And especially as, big as the channel is, thanks to you guys, there have been a lot of people that have reached out. Some have been phony, I have confirmed, and some have been, in my opinion, legit. This one is one I've been talking to the longest, and they are, I think, the most legit, because the things they have told me, they have a 100% track record. Everything they've said has come true. So I spoke with my source, and I was like, look, I'd like to bring this information to them exclusively. I want to be the first one. Would you be okay with coming on camera and telling them about all this? They were very hesitant. They were going to put their job at risk, their livelihood, everything. They love their job. They like working there, but they also have a lot of information, and they're a huge fan of the channel, and they want change at Lucasfilm, right? This is someone who's been a part of Lucasfilm since the days of George and has luckily enough not been purged by Disney when they purchased the company. So here's a pre-recorded video that I've had with my source, and they have, concealed their identity, of course, for their own safety and for the safety of their job, to bring you guys this information. And hopefully, if you are interested and they feel so inclined, they'll bring more information going forwards in future videos, perhaps. So, without further ado, here is my interview with my source at Lucasfilm.
Now, I bought totally into this when I first saw it. But here, satire.
Hey, Splinter. How are you doing today? This is, for those who don't know, you guys, this is actually the first time Splinter and I are coming face to face. So it's a pleasure to finally meet you, face to mask or whatever it is. Yeah, so sorry guys if I'm being awkward. We've had a lot of extensive combos over the years, haven't we, buddy?
First off, let me just say thank you to Theory for having me on the channel. I hope you don't mind me protecting my identity. I have to be careful and mindful of my future and livelihood, as the mouse is no joke.
Oh my god! So that is a guy called like his name. He's got a channel. I forget. It's like something DVD, Overlord DVD. The guy's name is Doomcock, and he does a lot of videos and here, I just pulled it up now. So you can see here, it's Overlord DVD. I mean, the guy looks like something from, I don't know if anyone knows, the Aquabats. My daughter used to love that show. and also from back in the day, you had like HR puff and stuff. I mean, like this mask is just, it's ridiculous. So you see here, is Kennedy getting fired? Huge meeting tomorrow. Kennedy in big trouble. And then they went on to say that her email was shut down, and that it could possibly be because of a vacation, and all this speculation about how she's fired. Which, and through my algorithm on YouTube, I fall into all this stuff. I'm constantly being inundated with Kathleen Kennedy's fired. Is she fired? Is she not fired? La la la. So I decided to go and do this episode today in regards to that. So, should Kathleen Kennedy be fired? I'm not a big fan of hers, but let's look at the cold hard facts here. So, the Indiana Jones film, The Last Crusade, this is by Screen Rant, it cost about $300 million to make. Now, if you look at Box Office Mojo and all these sites I've gotten from Critical Drinker and all these other vloggers who've been around forever who research and look up this stuff. So Box Office Mojo has a formula where it's you take the cost of the film and you multiply it by 2.5, and that's the total cost with advertising and all this other stuff. Not to mention that a lot of these places seem to be, or at least they say that that Disney underestimates their budget constantly. So, all right, so we know that the Indiana Jones movie cost about $300 million, and I think the box office just hit $300 million, which leaves them at a $450 million loss at this point. That's as of today. So, okay, let's look at Lucasfilms, the history of Lucasfilms, and get a good. Why is this doing this to me? Okay, boom. And as you can see here, American Graffiti. These are from the first movies to date. So, Raiders of the Lost Ark, never saw Twice Upon a Time, never saw Latino, Labyrinth, not so good, Howard the Duck, I thought it was terrible, Willow, I enjoyed as a child, Tucker, I thought was good, Land Before Time, and I never saw that, and fast forward to 2012 when Kathleen Kennedy took over. So Red Tails was the first movie that came out under her watch, and I'm sure it was in the pipeline. She was involved with Lucasfilm at the time. This movie lost about $100 million using the calculations that I got from Box Office Mojo. And then you go to Strange Magic, which lost about $1.3 million, and then you go to the Star Wars movies. Now this movie made $1 billion. Okay, the first Star Wars movie under her, her taking over Lucasfilms as president. Rogue One, I think it was another 500. So another 500 million profit. Star Wars Episode 800 was another 500 million. I mean, it wasn't the $1 billion that the first Star Wars movie that she made, but it's still, these movies all made profits. Okay, Solo lost about $500 million. Of course, in this one here, it also made about $500 million. So, success, loss, success, meh. So, what is she batting, like about 500? And then with this new Indiana Jones movie that nobody seems to like is another failure. So on first glance at this, you think, oh well, there are some pretty big hits in here. Why should we fire her, or why should she be fired? So we'll take a look at her Wikipedia. All right, so I mean, her credentials are pretty spectacular. Look at all these movies she was involved with. As executive producer, as producer. I mean, boom, boom, boom. So everything looks really good. Like, why are we considering firing this woman? And then we come to this. The television. The Mandalorian. The Book of Boba Fett. Garbage. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Garbage. Light and Magic. Never watched it. Andor. I liked it. Willow. Garbage. Ahsoka. We won't know yet. Skeleton Crew. Looking not so good. Acolyte. Looking really not so good. Really bad. So, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of it's almost like subjective, isn't it? But just to point out some of the things that I feel as to why the television shows are so bad. I mean, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show was like, holy cow. There's people went crazy on this one scene where Leia was running away from Flea, and I mean, probably half the people that watch the show don't even know who Flea was from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band from the '90s that were super popular. But you got to see this. I mean, hilarious.
Why are you here?
Just waiting.
For what?
For you.
Boom. Terrible. Terrible. I mean, what a... Like, when I first saw that scene, like, I was a jaw dropper. Like, this is... It was like a Saturday morning cartoon. It was just terrible. And then you have also, the Mandalorian with Lizzo. I mean, holy cow. It was I saw that on TV. I mean, not on TV. I saw a picture of it. I don't have it. I didn't put it up on the internet, and somebody underneath it said bad SNL skit, and I literally thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit until I watched the episode. Now, the first season of Mandalorian, I loved it. The second season, was okay, and the third season wasn't about the Mandalorian, was it? So, I don't know, but should Kathleen Kennedy be fired? She's not going to be fired because nobody wants the job. They've pretty much destroyed every IP that Lucasfilm has now. They destroyed Star Wars. They destroyed Star Wars through the streaming service. They destroyed Indiana Jones. Unless some miracle happens and all of a sudden they get their 4,600 theaters back and people start going to see this thing. But I mean, people are just trashing the crap out of it. So I don't think she's going to be fired, and I think that what's going to happen is I think the Critical Drinker said it the best, that they're gonna let her contract ride out, and she's gonna have like this awesome send off where she had this awesome career, which she really had. I mean, up until recently, she didn't have these massive flops, and you say what it is. People don't go to the theaters anymore because of COVID. People don't like her diversity politics, or however you want to call it. It is what it is. So I personally don't think she's going to be fired. I think everyone's speculating is just speculation, and I think she will be here till the end of her contract. The question is, who's going to come in behind her, and are they going to change the philosophy of Disney Studios and Lucasfilms? Like, what I mean, if anyone saw the Snow White pictures of the 7 dwarves, which they backtracked and called them 7 bandits now. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of this vlog. This will probably be the first actual episode I post. There's a bunch of stuff under the live section, but I haven't really messed around with it or figured out how to pull it and then put it into the actual video section of YouTube. I'll figure that out. I'm going to get a boom mic because This is kind of silly. This being all over the place. And most of the stuff I think I'm going to do is going to be, taking clips from the vloggers, like allears.net and Mispaging Mr. Marrow and maybe some others like PC Dev, but there's really not much to kind of bust balls with PC Dev. But there is for, some of the other ones that I can't think of offhand. But in particular, Mr. Marrow, he cracks me up, man. The guy's he's out there. And that's it. So hopefully somebody will watch this at some point, and if not, that's fine too. So, end transmission.